Are you watching closely? Because when it comes to training, especially calisthenics, what you don't notice can hurt you. We're talking about lockouts, those final few degrees at the top of a push-up, a dip, or a pull-up. Some people say never lock out, that it kills your joints, and others say always lock out because it's how you build real strength. But here's the truth. Lockouts aren't the enemy. Passive movement is. Let's start with this. What is a lockout really? A lockout is just the end of a movement's range, where your arms or legs go fully straight under tension. But a good lockout still requires muscular control. So, should you lock out your joints? That depends on three things. Number one is your intention. If you're locking out because you're trying to rest on your joints, you're cheating the movement, and your body knows it. But if you're locking out with your triceps, your shoulders, and your scapula still active, that's control, and that's strength. Straight arms aren't the problem. Lazy arms are. Number two, the resistance involved. As long as you don't have any previous joint conditions, locking out is completely safe. However, I do want to give you a disclaimer. If you're doing something simple, like a regular push-up, locking out won't hurt you. But if you're doing a push-up and adding 50 pounds onto it, when you've previously never even mastered push-ups before, locking out is definitely unsafe for you. And number three, your experience level. Beginners are better off using soft lockouts, almost straight, but not completely locked, until they build the control to go fully locked. However, for advanced athletes, locking out can be a tool to develop tendon strength, straight arm strength, and joint stability. But let's shift the lens a little bit. Because this conversation always brings up one thing: partial reps. Now you've seen this before, and maybe you've done it yourself. People doing half reps, barely going down in their push-ups, barely extending in their pull-ups, under the excuse of time under tension. It's usually dressed up with words like constant tension or controlled reps. But let's be honest for a second. Most of the time, that's not strategy. That's just ego hiding behind buzzwords. If you're only doing partial reps from the start of your workout, avoiding the stretch and skipping the full range, you're not training smart. You're just avoiding weaknesses. Here's the problem. When it comes to calisthenics, skipping lockouts and skipping range of motion doesn't actually create more tension and progression for you. It just creates incomplete development. Tendons don't get strengthened, joints don't get conditioned, and you don't build strength or control through the entire range. And when you finally hit a full rep under fatigue or in real life, you break down. So does this mean that partial reps are always bad? Absolutely not. Now there is a place for them, but it's at the end of your workout, the end of your set. That moment when you're pushing towards failure and full reps start breaking down. That's when partials matter. Because in calisthenics, failure isn't always obvious. You don't have weights to drop. You don't have a machine that stops. You have to feel failure through your form and through that breakdown of the form. And partials are sometimes the last few sparks that you can squeeze out when your body has nothing left, but your mind says, one more. So, use them strategically. Train the full range first. Prioritize control and form. Then when you've earned it, finish with partials that push your body to the edge. Because when done right, partials don't replace hard work. They reveal it. So back to the question, should you lock out your joints? Only if you've earned the control. Because in this world of bodyweight strength, it's the small details that define the strongest calisthenic athletes. So, I'll ask you one more time, are you watching closely? Because your joints are, your form is, and most definitely, your progress is. And it's always the ones who move with intention who rise the furthest. Thank you for watching. Strict form only.